So over the past 2 to 3 months, right, we have seen the Singapore local banks, DBS, OCBC, UOB, pretty much just moving sideways, not much of a move, and looking a bit boring actually, So in today's video, right, we look at the banks again to discover where we are right now and if there could potentially be a bit more upside. I mean, is the uptrend still intact? And perhaps what are some of those levels whereby, if it kind of like dips to those levels, it could be actually a good opportunity to get in again to ride the rebound. Or maybe if it were to hit to some of those levels whereby, a lot of sellers are coming back, you can also think about getting out, taking a profit, probably wait for a pullback to enter again, right? So this is what we covered today. We'll look at the 3 Singapore banks, DBS, OCBC, and UOB. And let's discover where we are right now. So the first bank I would like to talk about would be this bank, DBS, right here, okay, trading at about $30.24, you can see right over here. So we have formed a bit of a resistance, I would say, around that $31 right here over the past, I would say, since April, May, June, July, about 3 to 4 months, we were actually kept below this $31 resistance. You can see, buyers starting to push up to near there, and that's where sellers came back to push prices back down. So the market, of course, weakened as well over the past 2 to 3 months, and that's where we saw the banks selling off, right? But selling off doesn't mean selling all the way down, but it kind of sold off to a certain good level, and that's where some bargain hunting actually happened again, right? But the resistance would be at the $31 right now for DBS. You can see $31 is also where we were somewhere back in 2018. You can see this is a pretty critical level, right? Because somewhere in 2018, you can see we kind of approach this level, quite a bearish candle right here, and then we started to sell down all the way to 23, and then started to rebound again. And this was all before the current situation that we are facing right now, and we are back to this resistance at 31. So it's natural to see a bit of a profit taking near that $31, which is pretty much an all-time resistance level, an all-time multi-year high, which is where we are right now. So this is the consolidation phase, I would say. For now, you can see that this green line, so this green line would be the 20 days moving average, and you can see this green line is starting to flatten out. It was actually pointing up. You can see when we started to see the rally in February, March, this green line was pointing up, and prices were actually holding above this green line. All right, that's a good sign in terms of the short term, pushing higher, and it did kind of push from 26 in February to all the way to about $30, $29 in May, June, and that's where it started to consolidate. So this green line, all right, the 20 days moving average, it's flattening out right now. You can see it's flattening out right now, and prices are going up and down, above and below it, right? So it's pretty much what we call a sideways consolidation in the short term, right? But what about the long term, right? In terms of the long term, you can see that I talked about it previously in previous videos. This red line is the 100 days moving average, is pointing up, and prices are still holding quite well, pretty good fair distance above the red line. You can see this was the distance that we were above. We can push up, neared it again, and now we are nearing the 100 days moving average line, all right, which is still pointing up. So long term wise, it still looks okay. Mid to long term, the uptrend still looks intact, but in the short term, we might still be consolidating. So what can you do with DBS right now? I mean, what it has done over the past 3 to 4 months, what are the steps you can potentially take to maybe get in or maybe get out? So I think if you're holding on to DBS, you can also think about getting out. As I say, this $31 is a pretty major resistance. So anytime it nears it, right, we can see selling coming back again, right? We can see selling coming back again, and that's where you can also think about getting out. Maybe take some profit. You can close off some position if you want. Probably wait for a pullback to near that 29. All right, 29 is where we are seeing some really good support, some really good bullish candles in May as well. We saw a rebound from 29, and so far still holding above the 29, which is where the 100 days moving average is. So it's 29 to about 31 is a $2 upside ratio. If you kind of take some profit, sell out, get back the funds, you can put it into other stocks, or maybe wait for dips to near that 29.50 to kind of get in again. And this way you can ride a few rounds, right, rather than just holding it and then it's consolidating and then nothing happens after 3 months, right? So you can also think about riding the range, trading the range, get out first, wait for dips, wait for pullback, get in again, and that's where you can trade the range. Or I mean, if you want to like hold on to some position just in case the $31 to break. All right, I mean, if the $31 to break, that's where we can see a bit more upside to maybe 32, 33, but right now we are still kept below. All right, so that is the consolidation range for now, right? So this is DBS. I hope I've given you a bit of direction in terms of the levels to take note of and the range. So that's what you can do, probably to get out, wait for pullback, get in again near 29, and that's where you can ride a few rounds first. Okay, let's take a look at UOB. And guys, if you like this video so far, I would appreciate if you can give me an early thumbs up. It will definitely help out the channel, and thank you so much for doing this, right? So let's dive back into UOB. I would say the chart looks pretty similar to DBS, all right? Of course, the levels are a bit different, and we are still also consolidating sideways. Same thing, look at the green line. The 20 days moving average is like, you know, sloping down a bit and then kind of like flattening out, and prices are like cutting up and down this green line. All right, so what is the consolidation for UOB? Quite, I would say, clearly, all right, we are consolidating from that $25, all right, to the $27 right here. And this was actually the range right here in 2019, all right, just before the situation that we are in. You can see we kind of broke down, all right. It was actually consolidating from like 25 to 27, all right, and then we broke that 25 and started to sell all the way down. All right, but right now you can see we are back to the same range like what we see. Let me just go to draw this clearer for you. So this is the consolidation previously, all right, somewhere in 2019 right here, from about 25 to that 27 right here. And you can see that this is where we are right now, all right, same thing, consolidating from like 25 to $27, right? And look at this right here. Let me just remove this range right here. You can see that somewhere around 25. You know, when the market sold off, we actually traded from like 26, broke, went all the way to 25 somewhere in May. All right, and we saw quite a good bullish candle here. This is something like a doji, all right, a long lower shadow. It shows an indecision between buyers and sellers, and we kind of like saw it happening right at this $25. So we kind of like, when we see this good bullish reversal candle, we kind of push away, rebounded from it, and then same thing near that 26.50, and then started to come back down again. So this is where we are right now. So I will say that, no, if you are still holding on to UOB, because we are still like consolidating, you know, in the past 3 to 4 months, we might still be in this consolidation range, all right, until, you know, we see like a good catalyst for the entire market, for the banks to push higher. All right, that would be the range for now, 25 to that 27. So if you were to like kind of like hit up to somewhere 26.50, 27, that's where you can also think about maybe getting out first, all right, lock in some profits, wait for a pullback maybe towards that 25.50 level, and that's where you can potentially time your entry to get in again, right? Because the short term wise, we might actually still be in a consolidation mode, all right? But for the long term it looks okay, right? The long term, I would say, no, we are still holding about that 25, maybe $24. You can see this is where the blue line, the 200 days moving average is still pointing up, all right, and prices are still holding above these two lines. The red line, 100 days moving average, is still pointing up and above the blue line. So longer term still looks okay, but just that for the short term, we might actually still be moving sideways for now. Okay, so let's take a look at the next final bank in Singapore called OCBC right here, trading at about $12.22, right? So all the banks, I would say, they look quite similar, right? We have seen quite a good rally since like November, December, the beginning of the year. All of them started to push up, all right, and then over the past 3 to 4 months, they are like kind of like consolidating. Wow, all right, the longer term uptrend still looks intact. All right, so what are the levels for OCBC? Let me just go to dive it in for you. You can see that we have found some support coming in at about the $11.50 since March. All right, so it's like about 4 months since March. We have been supported really well above this $11.50. You can see we rebounded about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times near it. All right, and let me just go to draw this upside rebound targets all the way to maybe around that $12.50 to $12.60 level. This would be a bit of a resistance right here. Based on what we have seen over the past 3 months, you can see that somewhere around May, all right, it started to rally, all right, rally all the way up, and we saw quite a bearish candle here. This is quite a bearish candle, you know, whereby sellers kind of like came back at the day end, all right, so we kind of like push higher all the way to near the 1280, but sellers came back, pushed prices all the way back down, and we have quite a bearish candle, which is what we call something like a shooting star, right, whereby we have a long upper shadow, which is not so good, especially if we see it right at the top part, right? So when we saw this candle, you can see we started to sell down. I think the market was weaker as well. Market sold off, and we sell down as well back to that 1150, before buyers come back again. All right, we saw a rebound back up to near that 1250, 1260, and it comes back down again. So this quite clearly, I would say, would be the range for now. It's about $1, all right, 1150 to about 1250. That would likely be the range for now in terms of the short term. So short term wise, same thing like DBS and OCBC, we might actually still be consolidating. So prices, if you were to kind of like head back up to near 1250, 1260, you can also think about getting out again, because that's where we can expect some profit taking to come back again. All right, and we might actually potentially retrace back down, right, to near the 1150 before it rebounds again, right? So you can think about getting out. I think nothing wrong to take some profit, especially if you have like caught the uptrend, the reversal, you've got in like near 950, 1050, you are probably in some profits right now. It is okay to think about getting out, taking some profits, maybe wait for a pullback to get in again near those really good support like the 1150 for OCBC. All right, so this is OCBC right here. Okay, so that's it, right? So pretty much covered the 3 Singapore local banks, DBS, UOB, and OCBC. So just a very short video, because a lot of people have been asking me, what are the banks doing? How is the status? Is the uptrend still intact in terms of the short term, the long term, and all that? So I thought, why not just do a video to cover the banks since I've not touched it for a few months already. And I hope you like this video and you're now clearer, all right, as to what are some of the key levels for each of the banks and what are each of their consolidation phase in terms of the support and the resistance that they're actually just moving up and down over the past 3 to 4 months. Right, so I hope you like this video, guys. If you like this video, go ahead to give me a like. It will definitely help out the channel. Of course, guys, smash the subscribe button if you have not yet done so, and you will not miss out on any videos like this. And of course, it will help out the YouTube channel as well. Thank you so much for doing this. All right, and let me know in the comments below, what is your biggest takeaway? I mean, in terms of the banks as well. What do you think? What are your thoughts on the banks? Are they looking good in terms of the short term? What about the fundamentals? Go ahead to let me know in the comments, and I'll do my best to reply each and every one of you. Right, so Joey here. Thank you so much for watching. I look forward to see you in the next video.